you know the video is gonna be an absolute banger when it's over 35 plus minutes long. Guys, ability power Nasus in the Dragon Lane. Oh my god. Honestly, like, I knew that it was good. You know, I saw people play it. I knew it was good. But when I played it and when I, you know, tested out different builds and did some stuff, my god, guys, damage, sustain, and super duper tanky. You have everything. You have it all. It's absolutely incredible how strong Nasus is in the Dragon Lane. But you have to, like, if you don't play him right, it's gonna suck really badly. And another tip that I have for you already is you have to play this with duo queue. But today's video is gonna be solo queue because I thought I don't want to show you guys an easy game with duo queue. I want to show you guys solo queue where I'm playing with an absolute random Senna, random jungler, random everything. So in the beginning part of the video, I'm going to explain to you guys how to build Nasus ability power. And there's timestamps in the description to skip to the gameplay immediately. But I really recommend you to not skip to the gameplay if you want to play Nasus, you know, if you want to play it yourself. If you don't want to play it, then you can just skip. Because about to build, it's really important that you build him the right way, guys. This is really important. But let me tell you the most important thing immediately. Winter's approach. You absolutely have to build Winter's approach. I've tried doing it without, and let me tell you, first of all, you won't have your abilities up because you don't have ability haste. Secondly, you won't have mana either. So you won't be able to use your abilities, and like the little amount of times that you can use your abilities, you won't even have enough mana for it. So you have to build Winter's approach. And see, the good thing about Winter's approach is it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter if you have Fimble Winter or Winter's approach, because it's going to be the same for you, because you can't even utilize the passive from the Fimble Winter. You can't even immobilize enemies. So whenever you finish off the Fimble Winter's approach, you are already fully utilizing the item because it grants you ability haste equal to 1% of your max mana. On top of that, it also gives you 10 more ability haste, and of course it's going to give you a lot of max mana. This is key to Nasus in the Dragon Lane. You absolutely need it, and when you get a lot of stacks on this item, you're really going to be able to spam your abilities, especially also your ultimate in the late game. It's incredibly powerful. So for your boots, you always want to go for Ionian Boots of Lucidity. Now, I've seen some people go for Mercury Threads. Let me tell you why you should not go for Mercury Threads. You should go for Ionian Boots because it gives you 15% more ability haste. But Hells, if the enemy has Ari and Twisted Faith and Galio, they're gonna stun me and I cannot escape. I know. What you do instead is you still build the Ionian Boots, but instead of going for conditioning here, you go for Hunter Titan. Hunter Titan is gonna be enough. It's gonna provide you 20 tenacity if you've taken out 5 enemies, which should be enough to still allow you to survive against .cc, guys. So for your second item, oh, by the way, no, this is how it should be. This is how I always build it. I actually almost always finish my Stone Plate immediately after the Fimble Winter because it's just so powerful. Like, on top of all the damage that you're gonna have, Stone Plate, and I'll tell you more about when to use Stone Plate during the gameplay part. Stone Plate is gonna make you incredibly tanky and impossible to kill when the time is right. So you can be a poke damage champion for your team. And on top of that, you can also be a massive tank for like 5 to 10 seconds because you have your ultimate as well to make you more tanky. So that's why you have to build the Stone Plate. You absolutely have to build the Stone Plate. No other enchantment. If you go for any other enchantment, it sucks, guys. Have to build a Stone Plate. So for your second item, Rylai's Crystal Scepter. Now, I've tried Liandry's, and I think Liandry's is more popular than going for Rylai's. But let me tell you, it doesn't deal that much more damage. I mean, true, it deals more damage. It burns the enemy, right? But the thing is, it's not worth it. First of all, Rylai's gives you 100 more max health. And of course, secondly, the slow. Whenever hitting an enemy with a damaging ability, you slow them by 20% for 1 second. Now, okay, so your third ability is not only going to be a one-time damage ability. This is what makes it so powerful. You throw it on the ground and it's going to stay there for a few seconds. And during those seconds, it's going to keep slowing the enemy. That's already what's super good, but what makes it even better is the ultimate, guys. Nasus ultimate lasts, how long does it last? Like 10 seconds or something? And yes, throughout that 10 seconds, you're going to be dealing ability power, you're going to be dealing ability damage around you. And yes, to answer your question, it keeps slowing the enemy by 20%. So when you run an enemy down with your ultimate, they literally can cannot escape. They cannot escape because you also have your second ability to slow them. It's absolutely impossible to escape from a Nasus who has a Rylai's Crystal Scepter, and you'll see that during the gameplay part. About this item, Oblivion Orb, it might seem like a random item over here, but let me tell you about it. If the enemy has like any sort of healing, you just build the Oblivion Orb. And I recommend you to build it after the Rylai's Scepter. You could build it before, but I would only build it before if you're against like a super giga heal champions, like Nami with a Blade of the Rune King Jinx, something like that. Then you immediately build the Oblivion Orb to already deny the healing. You're literally going to be denying so much healing because you deal a lot of AoE damage. That's why Oblivion Orb is almost always going to be a must buy on Nasus to deny their healing. Do not finish the green book, by the way, it's not worth it. Instead, you finish a Liandry's. So after the Oblivion Orb, you go for Liandry's. And this is where you're going to be dealing even more damage. And Liandry's is perfect because it also gives you max health, which really works well with the Stone Plate, of course. And just, you know, here, this is enough damage. You do not need any more damage. So you go for the Rylai's, Oblivion Orb, and then Liandry's. And then you go for the defensive item. Every time you have to go for a defensive item. Let me tell you which defensive items you could go. First of all, Force of Nature. You go for a Force of Nature if the enemy team has a lot of ability power. But the thing is, Spirit Visage is generally going to be better because you're going to be playing with a Senna who's going to be healing you. But the other thing is, the enemy is likely going to have a lot of anti-healing items. If they do have a lot of anti-healing items, you go for the Force of Nature. But this is only against ability power. Like if you're struggling against a lot of ability power champions like Ziggs, Orianna, something like that, then you build the Force of Nature. If you're struggling against attack damage, it depends. Does the enemy have a lot of crit? You build the Randuin's Omen. If the enemy does not have a lot of crit, you build a Frozen Heart. Let me tell you about this item, guys. Oh, it is so good because it provides you so much. First of all, 70 armor. Secondly, bonus max mana. On top of that, you get ability haste as well. And you get 20 more ability haste from this item as well. And reduces the attack speed of nearby enemies by 20%. Now, this item perfectly synergizes with Nasus and the Rylai's Crystal Scepter, because your ultimate is going to slow all enemies around you, and then on top of that slow, also their attack speed is going to be slowed by 20%. Up until now, I have always gone for Frozen Heart on Nasus. Actually, I'm going to put it here because this is, I pretty much always go for this item. Almost never go for a magic resist. And of course, after this item, you finish the green book, you know, because you have no other item to finish. Okay, about the runes. Now, you may think, what the hell is Font of Life doing here? Let me tell you. So first of all, you can easily trigger the Font of Life yourself, right? Like when you shoot your third ability on an enemy, it's going to sit on the ground and deal more damage. And when it deals another tick of damage, you're gonna heal yourself. As you can see, self-heal 2% of your max health plus 20% of your ability power. So every time you use your third ability, you're gonna heal up yourself. Every time. You only have to hit the enemy with another tick. And another thing is, your Senna, you know, you have to play it with Senna, otherwise it's really bad, is easily going to be able to proc the Font of Life as well during your laning matchup with her first ability. She's going to heal 6% of your max health plus 40% of your ability power. So what does this mean? You have the biggest sustaining duo in the lane ever with the Font of Life. You have to get the Font of Life, guys. Don't go for any other rune. And for your second rune, honestly, the thing is, every single rune here kind of sucks. So I just go for Brutal. It's just always going to give you damage. See, the thing about weakness is you can go for weakness, but Brutal is going to be way stronger in the early game. Weakness is useless in the early game. And I mean, it does give your team more damage in the late game. And I'm not saying that it's bad. It's probably, it's actually good as well. But Brutal is just more reliable damage, right? Like, you know, Brutal is just the more reliable damage. And here you don't want to go for Hunter Titan, you want to go for Conditioning. Almost always, unless the enemy has a lot of CC. But you really want to try to go for Conditioning because your first 4 items are all damaging items. But not only damage, they also give you HP. And your ultimate also gives you HP. What does this mean? You have a lot of HP, but low armor and low magic resist. That's where the conditioning comes through. It gives you 8 armor and 8 magic resist after 5 minutes, and then every 2 minutes of the game, it's going to give you 2 more armor and magic resist. So when you reach that late game, you're going to be really tanky. Like, the conditioning is going to provide you so much value. It's totally worth it. As I said, you can also go for Hunter Titan if the enemy has a lot of CC only. Otherwise, you really want to stick to conditioning. Now for your fourth rune, Sweet Tooth, because Sweet Tooth is broken. Yes, that's right. Mana Flow Band, not necessary, before you guys are going to ask, because you already have a Winter's Approach. You really do not need the Mana Flow Band. Just stick with the Sweet Tooth. And for your spells, you want to go for Flash, for sure. And then here I have Ignite. And I just prefer Ignite. Let me tell you why. Because with the Ignite, you can really like demolish enemies. Like when they're at like 15% HP, you shoot your third ability and then you ignite them and they're dead. Also in the late game, Ignite is going to be really good to use on an enemy carry, because then they're not going to be able to get healed anymore, right? Like if the enemy has a Soraka or a Janna, something like that, and you just use the Ignite on the enemy Azrael, for example, he's not going to be able to heal up anymore. Your team can absolutely demolish him, so you have to time that Ignite right in teamfights as well. And yeah, we're going to go to the gameplay now, and I just want to show you guys something real quick. You know, so I basically had a Nasus video ready already. If it opens, like here, Nasus Senna. I had this video ready, but then I was just playing it again a few hours ago, and I got this video, 27 minutes of Nasus. And you can see this is a high elo match. You can see like I'm not playing in Emerald or Diamond rank. This is Grandmaster rank, and probably also Challenger when some maybe some people are Challenger as well. So this is really high elo, and I just really want to show you guys that this is one of the most broken champions in the game right now, honestly, when you play him right. But the thing is, this team was pretty bad. Let me tell you, like a few of these teammates, I'm not gonna spoil, were really bad, and that's what's gonna make this game really interesting to watch. And okay, I immediately want to start talking about strengths and weaknesses. And let's start talking about the strengths, guys. What was that? Whoa. In the early game, you should win every lane with Senna. You should win every lane, as long as your Senna also plays well. The second strength is you have a lot of poke damage. Third strength is in the late game you're going to be unkillable, you're going to be super tanky. Fourth strength is you're going to be able to easily apply anti-healing to the enemy. The fifth strength is when you're fighting at the Baron or the Dragon and all the enemies are in the Dragon Pit, for example, you're going to be able to easily hit all of them with the third ability. There is also more strengths, but he's basically filled with strength, guys. Now what is a weakness? Okay, a weakness would be if your Senna is not good, you're gonna struggle. Because if your Senna does not follow up with your Font of Life, and if your Senna does not root the enemy, you're not gonna win your lane. You're really not gonna win. As you can see here, Senna, like I was just standing there, like, what the hell are you doing, bro? Senna, what is that? And like I don't know why the Senna is not hitting his first ability. Because the way that this works is you hit your third ability on an enemy, and then your Senna hits her first ability to proc the Font of Life. Here, boom, she should have proc the Font of Life here, but she's not doing it for some reason. By the way, oh yeah, here I just told the Senna, you know, hit them after I hit my E. If you guys want to see me play Senna and a friend of mine play Nasus, give the video a like. And you know what, if this video reaches 1,500 likes, I'll make another Nasus Senna video, but I'll play Senna instead, okay? So if you want to see more of this, and I'm pretty sure you guys will, give the video a like. Also, put down a comment under the video. You know, the giveaway is almost ending. Yeah, it's actually almost ending. It's gonna end the day after tomorrow. I'm giving away 10 skins on YouTube and 5 skins on Instagram. And that one is also gonna end in 2 days. All you gotta do is just put down comments, guys. That's it. Oh, my water, man. Okay, so when you play the early game with Nasus, as I said, it's really all about hitting that third ability and then your Senna follows up. About last hitting minions, you should not really worry about your first ability stacks because that's not going to be your main damage. However, don't completely neglect it, because even though it's not going to be like your main damage at all, it's still, you know, it's still worth to stack up. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, it's obviously, again, I'm gonna repeat, it's not your main damage. By the way, I need to move my screen. Wait. Now it's better. Is it? Yeah, now it's better. Okay. It's, you know, it's still gonna be good to have stacks on your first ability. Here I just told the Kazakhs if he could just please stop feeding. Like, he's 0-3 at minute 3. I honestly have no idea how he did that as a jungler. But okay, you know. Let's now talk about the most underrated ability of Nasus, especially AP Nasus, and tell you how you should utilize it, which is the second ability. Guys, this ability is probably in my top 3 most disgusting abilities in the game. And it may surprise you, but let me tell you why. So, the second ability, as like, it's already a disgusting ability, but it's even more disgusting with this build, because it's gonna be on like a, on like a 4 or 5 second cooldown in the late game. First of all, this ability reduces the enemy movement speed by like what, 60-70% for 2 seconds. 2 seconds. So the enemy is gonna be perma-slowed for 2 seconds. I'm gonna repeat, 2 seconds. How insanely long is that? Now in the late game, you can just easily catch out an enemy with it. Easily. Like, on top of your Rylai's slow, your second ability, like, they're pretty much gonna be rooted. It's that crazy how big it is. And now the second thing, let me tell you the second thing that is absolutely amazing about the second ability, which you probably, well, you knew, but you probably didn't utilize well. Let's actually take a look at this fight first. I go in with my ultimate. I try to slow the Ezreal. So close. I couldn't slow him. He was so close. Like, if I had slowed him, he would have probably died. Boom. I used my ignite, but he got healed. Oh my god, that Pantheon is literally at 1 HP. So what was it? Yeah, I was talking about the second ability. So on top of the slow, it also reduces the attack speed of the enemy for 2 seconds. Now let me tell you, okay, so, you know, this is good, but let me tell you when this is especially good. So I'm gonna give you an example. For example, if you're against an enemy Aurelia, right? Aurelia, attack damage champion, and she dives your team with her ultimate. What you do is you use your second ability on her immediately. Now, of course, you know, the slow is not going to be as impactful because she's going to be dashing around with her first ability, but she's going to have less attack speed. And she's going to be like, what the hell, man? Why do I have so low attack speed? Like, she's going to try to, you know, boom, 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 hit fast attacks. She's probably going to be canceling her attacks so often, and you're going to reduce her damage by so much. Your second ability is basically exhaust on a 4 or 5 second cooldown in the late game, guys. You literally have a perma exhaust in your kit as a Nasus. And that's another addition to why this is so incredibly broken. So on top of the tankiness, the heals, the poke damage, everything, you also have an exhaust every 5 seconds. And you have to utilize this. Do not ignore the second ability. Trust me when I say this. Do not ignore the second ability. And the perfect times to use it. So we all know how to use it to catch an enemy, right? I do not need to explain to you that you should use it when you want to catch an enemy. That's obvious. So besides catching an enemy, here, take a look at this, by the way. I hit it on the Ezreal and it just reduces the attack speed by a lot. I'm still gonna die here because we all just got caught. But you use it when an enemy attack speed reliant champion wants to dive your squad. So when a Darius goes in, for example, you use your second ability on him. When a Corki dives in with his package, you use your second ability. When a Jinx wants to dive your team and do a lot of damage, you use your second ability on her. You have to initialize which enemy champion is going to be the biggest damage dealer attack speed wise. You use your second ability on them. You're literally gonna exhaust them. And another thing about the second ability, just use it. Like right here you saw I just used it on the Ezreal, and after you use the second ability, you're gonna be able to hit your third ability for free always, because they're gonna be slowed. They cannot dodge it. So that's another thing to understand, guys. So, how do you use Stoneplate? I told you guys during the build part of this video that I would explain to you during the gameplay how you should utilize the Stoneplate on Nasus. So you don't just want to use it when you're dealing damage, because obviously it's going to reduce your damage, right? It's going to reduce your damage output by like 50 or 60%. Don't do that. When you do want to use it is, for example, when your team wants to engage. If they want to engage, you are the one that goes in. Even though you're full glass cannon Nasus in the early game, you engage with your ultimate and stone plate. This is going to make you unkillable for 5 seconds. This is literally going to make you unkillable for 5 seconds. You use your ultimate and stone plate and you go in. You're going to be able to soak up all the damage and your teammates are going to be able to dive them. You'll see me do it during this game as well. There's going to be many good examples. And like this is, as I said, this is one of the powers of Nasus. You have to do this. You have to do this. Look at this, by the way. Oh. Did you see that? I survived the Teemo with my ultimate there. The ultimate is also a really good tool to bait the enemy. Like I baited the Teemo there and I just used my ultimate. So he couldn't do anything right there. So you know what the good thing is about this Nasus build? It's good in every single stage of the game. And the funny thing is it keeps getting better and better in the late game as well. But the playstyle changes a little bit. Let me tell you why the playstyle changes. So in the very, very early game, when you don't have the stone plate yet, you're basically only going to be like using your third ability to poke the enemy, your second ability, and then, you know, your ultimate to tank. But you're not going to be able to dive in 1 versus 5 because you're going to get one-shotted. When you get the stone plate, it already changes. It changes to that you can also become a super duper frontlining tank. So you're going to have damage and you're going to be a tank. Now when you build the Rylai's, it changes again. This is when you're gonna be, this is when you wanna poke. This is when you, like, you don't wanna be the immediate initiator. You really wanna be utilizing the slow of the Rylai's by just continuously throwing your third ability on the enemy. And then the next point comes at when you get the Leandries. This is where you're gonna do a lot of damage. This is where you're not only gonna be slowing the enemy, but also where you're actually gonna be like dealing a lot of damage. And also you can tank, you know, you can tank. And then after that, we get the crucial point where you build a defensive item. Here you have to decide which defensive item you have to go for. As I said, in 90% of my games, I go for Frozen Heart, because it absolutely perfectly synergizes with this Nasus build. And what this is going to allow you to do is going to allow you to engage in the middle of the enemy and like just reduce their damage by so much. It's incredible, guys. Their attack speed, it's just absolutely incredible. Boom. Oh yeah, and then we get the ultra giga super late game. This is where you basically have everything. You have the damage, you have the slows, you have the anti-heal, you have the sustain, you have the tankiness, you have everything. This is where you have everything and you do whatever the hell you want to do. This is where you're like, the game is pretty much won. Oh, let me tell you guys a weakness about this, by the way. There is a weakness. And the weakness would be, it's true that you do a lot of damage, but the weakness is if your team does not have reliable sustain damage. So you have damage, you know, you have quite a lot of damage as an AP Nasus, but you don't provide sustain damage. And you took the spot of the Dragon Lane. Now normally in the Dragon Lane you would have a champion that deals reliable sustain damage, right? Like Jinx, Lucian. Let's take a look at this fight, by the way. Look at it. I want to pause. I just want to pause and explain to you what happened here before we watch the fight. I immediately turned. I used stone plate and ultimate. Now I just want you to take a look at how much damage I'm going to be soaking and how much time I'm going to be buying for my team. Take a look at this. Look. See that? See how we won that fight? So not only was I able to tank up a lot of damage, I also utilized this, I was just able to tank up a lot of damage, you know, and I slowed the enemies and things like that. You can just see how strong this is, guys. You can really see how strong it is. What's gonna happen here? It's a Teemo. He's gonna kill me, isn't he? Oh, here, look, I slowed him. Look at how big the slow is. You see that? It's insane. Oh, don't do it. Don't kill me. No, no. I'm gonna die, aren't I? Look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. what a stupid champion, man. Oh my god, what an absolute stupid champion. It's actually insane. Oh. Wow. So, um, what I really love about this. Oh god, I just screwed up. Oh, my team goes in without me. Yeah, they should not go in without me. I'm literally the tank of this team. There is no other champion that can tank up their damage. And when you pick Nasus, by the way, you should really tell your teams to pick reliable sustained damage champions. We got a Corki and an Irelia. This is perfect. Like, this is absolutely perfect because Corki and Irelia do attack damage and ability power. So we have reliable attack damage and reliable ability power. They're going for the Baron. And our Kha'Zix is pretty useless, so can't really steal it. But what we can do is, you know, they were distracted at the Baron, and we can just kill them. And this is a good situation where we can just try to get some kills at least. And we did good here. We got 2 kills, and it's fine. Like, this is fine. By the way, Nasus is also really good at pushing and anti-pushing for different reasons. First of all, you have your third ability to poke. Like when you're pushing, you can poke them under the turret, and when they're pushing, you can poke them, right? Like they'll try to push your turret, but you throw down your third ability and you're going to be able to do a lot of damage to them. Also, he gets turrets really fast because of your first ability. Your first ability actually still deals quite a decent amount of damage to turrets. Here we made a mistake, we overextended. But yeah, even though you're not attack damage Nasus, if you just gather a decent amount of stacks, which I do have, I have 160 stacks, you're still going to be able to shred turrets. Here I got a little mad at this Kha'Zix, because like, what the hell is he doing, man? Like this guy, what is he 0-10? Like, well, what are you doing, man? Just play it safe, let your team do this. He's 0-9 in 14 minutes, how the hell, man, come on. Like, bro, just at that point, you should just not even engage anymore. Just let your team do the work, and then after that, you engage. That's how Kha'Zix works, by the way. Yeah. I really wonder, I really wonder how many views this video is gonna get, and not because like I want to get a lot of views, blah blah. It's just people for some reason really love Nasus videos. I have no idea why. Nasus is probably Nasus is by far the most viewed champion on my channel. But that doesn't mean that I'm gonna spam Nasus videos, because I want to make videos on other champions too. I basically make a Nasus video once a month. Like if you look at my channel, just look up HellsDevil Nasus. You'll literally see that I make a monthly Nasus video. But I might make another one this month, because I also want to make a normal Nasus video, because it's literally my favorite champion. Oh, this is just so sad, this game, by the way. What is happening? But who would have thought that AP Nasus video would come as well? So that's why I'm just curious to see if this video is also going to do the same as Tank Nasus. Because people really love Nasus for some reason. I have no idea why. But people really love Nasus for some reason. But I just want to give credit to this Irelia, by the way. He's playing really, really well. This guy is top 10 Irelia. And he's really, you know, he's really doing well. And the Corki is also doing well. This game is basically a 3 versus 5. Our Senna is probably dealing a decent amount of damage, but it's like Kha'Zix and Senna are really not doing anything this game. But Nasus, guys, is so powerful. You're still going to be able to do something, but it's going to be hard. Like with bad teammates, it's obviously going to be hard. But Nasus is the type of champion that even though you have like not that good of teammates, you just have to focus on the right teammates to support the right teammates. Like I have to see where the Corki and the Irelia go, and I have to engage with them. You know, I should not care about the Senna or the Kha'Zix. I should always be sticking with my Corki and my Irelia and following them. Well, not following them, but I should just provide them with a tank. Like I'm gonna be their tank. I am gonna use my second ability on the champion that is diving them. Things like that, right? Like I need to debuff the enemies that are going on them to provide them, to allow them to carry. What's the Kha'Zix doing again? He's level 12. So here, in a situation like this, you just want to be poking with Nasus. So let's take a look. Like, I just want to poke. I want to look for situations to poke, but there is a thing. You have to be a bit careful when poking because you have to get in range for your third ability, right? Which could mean that the enemy can catch you out. Like if the Pantheon could stun me if I go too close. So I should be careful. And here you can see I took so much damage because you're still going to be squishy when you don't have your stone plate, right? You shouldn't think that you're going to be super tanky. If you don't use the stone plate, you're still going to be squishy. So I have to be very careful of the Azrael's poking because he deals so much damage. Yeah. But contrary to that, you have so much healing as well. That's the thing. With your third ability, you're going to heal yourself with the Font of Life. And when your teammates hit the enemies, you're also going to heal up yourself. So, you know, that's why you should keep poking the enemies. Because the Font of Life, oh my god. The Font of Life is going to heal up you and your teammates so much. Yeah, here we just screwed up. But I still killed him. I'm going to die, however. It's Teemo. Yeah. This sucks. Irelia is doing good. Hey, Kha'Zix? Kha'Zix actually got a double kill. Wow. Hey, Kha'Zix did something. That was actually pretty important by the Kha'Zix. If he didn't get that double kill, they would have probably gotten the Baron for free. They would have actually definitely gotten the Baron for free. So props to the Kha'Zix, you know, gotta give him props when I should. Oh man. I'm so thirsty. I just need to fill up more water. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm in the kitchen anyways, so... He just killed himself again during a crucial moment in the game. So now something is gonna happen, which I have so much to say about. But let's just watch first, okay? Let's just watch. So obviously the enemy is gonna do Baron, right? They killed our Kha'Zix, they're gonna do Baron. And yeah, it sucks. Let's take a look. So let me tell you one thing right now. In my last 4 Nasus games, I stole 2 Barons with my third ability. What does this tell you? Guys, the third ability deals a lot of damage to Baron. I think it deals like 300 or 400 damage, or maybe even 500 damage. I'm not exactly sure how much it is, but it deals a lot of damage. So if the enemy slightly screws up his smite, if he does it a little too late, you can literally steal Barons and Dragons so easily in the late. Well, not easily, but easier than most champions. I literally just stole the Baron right there. Boom, just like that. And as I said, I stole a Baron 3 games before, or 2 games before this one as well. So it's not coincidence. Nasus' third ability is really good at stealing Barons, guys, and Dragons. So, you know, keep that in mind. By the way, only in the late game. In the early game, it deals 0 damage. Well, it deals some damage, but not really enough to steal Dragons and Barons. You have to be incredibly lucky. You know what it is with these super insanely long videos? Because this, like, even though we got the Elder Dragon, trust me when I say that this game is not over. You're gonna have to see what the hell is gonna happen in this late game. With these super duper long videos, it's like, I already taught you so much about the champion, and then I just start talking about random things, or just, you know, other general things. It's just kind of funny, because this video has already been going on for 34 minutes, and the game is not even over yet. There's still so much gonna happen. But with the Elder Dragon, you shouldn't lose a game with the Elder Dragon generally, but especially with AP Nasus, guys. Come on. As a team, when you have an AP Nasus with Elder Dragon especially, all you gotta do is just let the Nasus poke. If I poke the enemy with my third ability, not only does it do an incredible amount of damage, it's also, like, look at this. I pinged my team that I wanted to push the bot lane because I wanted to apply pressure on other sides of the lane too, but I just knew that this would happen. I knew that it would happen. I knew that they would suicide here. I knew it. I just knew this would happen. It was so obvious that they would do this. This is what happens in solo queue. Like, you should tell your team what you want to do. I told them that I just really wanted to go to the bot lane, but they overextended and killed themselves. I knew that it would happen, but I couldn't stop it. I just did everything I could, but yeah. They just suicided, man. So annoying. So look at this. It just deals so much damage when you have the Elder Dragon, because you're going to be dealing true damage as well when you poke. And you're going to be dealing true damage to all of the enemies that you hit with your poke. That's why it's going to be, like, just absolutely broken on AP Nasus. Come on, what are they doing? Can they stop? Look at how much damage they're dealing to me when I use my Stone Plate and my ultimate. Nothing. That's literally your 4-second window that you cannot be killed. You can't even be damaged. Especially if you use it when there's 3 or more enemies around you, because then instead of giving you 65% bonus health, it gives you 130% bonus health, which is double. So the Stone Plate is going to be double effective when there's 3 or more enemies close around you. Keep that in mind. So you don't really want to be using the Stone Plate when there's not a lot of enemies around you. You have to try to use it when there's at least 3 enemies around you to, you know, fully utilize the item. And as you can see, I have my Stone Plate again. Why do I have it again? Because of wait, does the ability haste the summoner spell work with Stone Plate? I'm gonna have to see that if I use it here. We just keep throwing these fights, so we're just not playing to our full potential, because what we're doing is we're trying to go for these burst fights, but Nasus is not a burst champion. When you have Nasus in your team, AP Nasus, you want to play the sustain game, because you will always out-sustain the enemy with Font of Life. Always. You will lose the burst game. That is how to counter this. You counter the Nasus with burst. Like, if the Teemo can burst me down, he could potentially kill me. If the Zed bursts me down, he could potentially kill me. But sustain, they're not gonna win. They're not gonna win. Like, if my team just keeps hitting the enemies with the Font of Life, the enemies are never gonna out-sustain us. There is just no way that they should be able to out-sustain us. But like, you can see that my team is really not playing to our win condition, which is really stupid actually. So the enemy is trying to go for Baron without Pantheon. Like, I'm not worried. I'm going to the Baron lane because I don't want to lose an inhibitor, because that could allow them to come back. I went here because we already killed their Pantheon, because I was like, yeah, they're not gonna go for the Baron anyways, right? And if they did, my team would have been able to fight them. Because losing an inhibitor, especially in the top lane or the bot lane, it really hurts in the late game, especially because it's gonna apply so much pressure to your team. Boom. Like here, I'm trying to play the poke game, but my Irelia goes for the burst game. What is this? Like, you can still see that I'm just dealing so much damage, even though my team is playing it completely wrong. But it's just like, Nasus is so broken. AP Nasus is so broken that even though your team completely screws it up, you're still going to be able to carry the fight. I want you to take a look at what we do with this Ezreal here. What should we do? So look at this. I slowed him with my second ability right there, and I easily killed him. Take a look at this. I have my second ability again. Look at this. Boom, I slow him again, and 6 seconds later I have my second ability again. It's an exhaust. It's a recurring exhaust. You keep exhausting the enemy, and we just won the game. We just won the game. And I cannot believe that this is almost a 40-minute video. Oh my god, what a video. It's almost 40 minutes. That is unbelievable. Yeah, I only get 10 LP in Grandmaster rank, by the way. It's pretty insane. Look at this. Look at this. I was so tanky, I did so much damage, it was just all so perfect. Now I want to make this a 40-minute video. How do I do that? Oh, I want to show you guys some stuff maybe. Yeah, I want to make this a 40-minute video. This has to be a 40-minute video. Let's show you some spicy stuff here. By the way, man, I'm trying to get Challenger, by the way. And I want to show you guys, like, I'm winning so many matches, but I'm just, like, ranking up is so hard because the elo that I get is plus 10 or plus 11, and I lose 20 or I lose 19. Like, look at this, look at this. There, I want to show you guys. Look at how many matches I'm winning. Look at this. I'm just basically winning so many matches, And then yeah, here was like a loss streak, but then I win the majority of my matches, but I don't really gain a lot of elo. I'm at 200 LP right now. And how much do you need for Challenger actually? Because only the top 160 is Challenger. And see, the thing is, most of these people here, they have very high MMR. Like they were Challenger at the end of the season, last season, and it means that they'll get plus 20 in Grandmaster. I am not fortunate enough to have that, so I am only getting plus 10, which is so hard to get Challenger with. So here you can see, wait, how much is it? Let's see, around 250. You need around 250. Yeah, you need 250 LP or 255, something like that, to be Challenger. And I'm almost Challenger. But yeah, we've reached the 40-minute mark, and thank you guys so much for watching. It honestly almost feels like a stream how long this video has been. If you're still watching to this part, you're a real OG. You should probably put it in the comments because you're special. So thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next Wild Rift video. Bye bye.